On the docket tonight, another case out of South Georgia, the murder or disappearance of Tara Grinstead. Janley Painter has more.
High school teacher Tara Faye Grinstead vanished from her Georgia home in October of 2005.
The scene in Tara's house was ambiguous to us. We did not know if a struggle had occurred there or not.
The popular educator, also a former beauty pageant contestant, lived alone in the town of Ocilla, about 200 miles south of Atlanta. Her disappearance alarmed friends and baffled investigators.
We needed more information because we had a situation in which many people had been in the residence that day, and also several persons had been in the residence before law enforcement arrived.
The search for clues into Tara Grinstead's whereabouts would last for more than a decade. A billboard with her photo and tip line number loomed for years in the area, along with hopes she would be found. Hundreds of people were interviewed, but leads dried up and the case went cold.
You're convinced you will find her?
I am convinced we will, one way or the other.
Then in February 2017, more than 10 years after the 30-year-old disappeared, police arrested Ryan Duke and charged him with burglary, aggravated assault, murder, and concealment of a body. Not long after Ryan's arrest, police brought charges against his friend, Bo Dukes. The two were former students at the high school where Grinstead taught. They were part of the graduating class of 2002. Their names were similar but spelled differently. It was more than their names that bonded them together. Ryan and Bo shared a secret, and Bo kept that secret for years until he told it to Ryan's brother at a party.
He said that he knew who had killed Tara Grinstead, and I said, who? And he said, your brother.
That is Stephen Duke, Ryan's brother, testifying at the trial of Bo Dukes in 2019.
I asked him, kind of shocked, what do you mean? And he said, your brother killed her. I said, are you serious? He said, no, I'm just playing. Don't tell anybody.
But Bo wasn't joking when he confessed to investigators that Ryan allegedly told him he broke into Grinstead's home to rob her for drug money, but ended up strangling her. Grinstead's body has never been recovered, but Bo's confession helped crack the case. Bo said he helped Ryan move Grinstead's body from a large pecan orchard where Duke had dumped the body to a nearby pine grove. Bo then assisted Ryan in burning the body. Bo was convicted for his role in the crime. The jury found him guilty of concealing Grinstead's death and lying to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. He was sentenced to serve 25 years in prison. It's not clear if he will turn state's evidence against his friend Ryan when he's tried for Grinstead's murder. Ryan has pled not guilty and maintains his innocence.
This case coming up and a big hearing next week on Court TV. Let's bring back in the think tank. Bernardo Villalona, what do you think this trial is going to be about? Is it going to be about Bo Dukes, or is it going to be about the fact that Tara Grinstead's body has never been recovered?
When you don't have a body, you know what some people say, no body, no case. But here, I think with the incriminating statements, this will be able to change things around. But what I see is a lot of pointing the fingers at each other.
Yeah, a lot of that. Ian, I want you to take a listen to Brooke Sheridan. This is Bo Duke's girlfriend, not the defendant, Ryan Duke, but his former friend and classmate, Bo Duke's girlfriend, Brooke Sheridan, testifying.
Who was it that you were told killed and strangled Tara Grinstead?
Ryan Duke.
Who was it that you were told actually put her body on Hudson Property Farms?
Ryan Duke.
Who was it that you were told helped burn the body?
Bo Dukes.
Okay. And when we say helped burn the body, was there more than one person other than Mr. Bo Dukes? Was anyone else involved with burning Tara Grinstead's body?
Ryan Duke.
All right, I'm hearing hearsay, and so how does this work at the trial, Ian? Because Bo Dukes is the one who would implicate Ryan Duke, but Bo Dukes doesn't have a deal. I mean, he went to trial and lost. Bo Duke's girlfriend can't testify about what someone said Ryan Duke said, can she?
No, there are certain exceptions under the hearsay statute, but we're going to have to see at trial whether any of those exceptions fit. The trial here is not going to be whether, there's a body, not a body. I think the murder is going to be accepted. This is strictly going to come down to the credibility of Bo Dukes. Ryan Dukes' lawyer gets confusing with all the Dukeses, but Ryan Dukes' lawyer is going to be attacking Bo Dukes to say, wait a second, the only person that's putting our client.
Well, let me ask you about that. How do you attack Bo Dukes? Like, he doesn't have to testify. He doesn't have to. I don't even know if the prosecution is going to call him. Let's say Bo Dukes is not called by the prosecution. Can the defense subpoena him? And can he take the fifth even after going to trial and being convicted?
Well, I don't know why they would want to call him, the defense. The state's got to call him. If the state's evidence is simply Bo Dukes is saying Ryan Dukes did it, how do they not call him? And then the defense is left with just going after Bo Dukes' credibility. And I always ask, one of those things is how many lies, does one person have to tell before they're considered a liar? I'd like to think just one. And here you got Bo Dukes, who was convicted of 2 counts of lying, falsifying information, concealed this information for years, told someone, yeah, it happened, it didn't happen. So the defense lawyers are going to be focused on Bo Dukes and his lack of credibility. And I wouldn't be surprised if they said, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, how do we know that it wasn't Bo Dukes who did it? He's now putting it on him. That's how he got out of a murder out of all this. And is he trying to get down his 25 years? What does he have to gain from that? So they're going to be looking. We don't know if there's a deal now or dependent upon his testimony. We'll find out in time. But he's going to be the target of the defense in this case.
Okay. Brian Watkins, Bo Dukes. Can he be forced to testify in this case? He went to trial and lost. He didn't say, all right, give me the deal for 20 years and I'll come in and I'll tell you everything. Didn't do that. He went to trial. He went to trial a few years ago. Is there a way to compel him to testify? Can you give someone immunity who's already been convicted? I'm trying to figure this out. And can you help me?
That's a tough question. Can they give him immunity? Yes, they can say you won't be prosecuted for any of the statements or any further actions of your involvement in this crime. And they can give him that immunity and they can force him to testify, I believe, because he cannot say, well, I'm going to plead the fifth. Well, if you have immunity, you're not going to incriminate yourself because we're not going to prosecute you any further than what we already have. And so the prosecution is going to need to make a decision. Is it, do we do whatever we can to get Bo Dukes to get Ryan because he's the actual killer? And so they got to make a call. They do it all the time. They gave Sammy the Bull Gravano a deal, even though he killed 22 people, just because they wanted John Gotti so bad. So they choose between their defendants. And will they choose the actual murderer over Bo Dukes? I think that they would. I think that they should.
All right. This is a compelling case. The Up and Vanished podcast is really what spurred the investigation again, and people started talking, and that's how we ended up where we ended up. Take a look, folks. Pre-trial hearing. It's a big one, March 8th and 9th. That is next week. Trial date, May 2nd. Ryan Duke has some of the best attorneys in the state of Georgia representing him. This is going to be a battle of all battles down in South Georgia.